All right, well, we're back and one best of 3 into the group today. Quick note, I have confirmed the follow-up partner for Maynard, which I'm really excited to talk about. So ZvP and I are doing the VSL cast right now, and this is mostly just because we had to move stuff around for this and more schedule headache stuff that we can discuss at another time. But yesterday on stream and on Twitter, we announced how Maynard was actually going to be coming to cover this. So the Friday matches, every Friday match going forward, so what you're seeing tonight will be starting in April, covered by Maynard. Yay, Maynard hype! But he's actually not going to be casting with myself or Zombie Grub. You guys should hopefully remember this name. Zeph is going to be coming to join him on the stream. So I think she can't do Thursdays, but she can do Fridays is the thing. It's one of the two. I don't remember which off the top of my head. But what this is going to allow us to do is a little bit more StarCraft content. And I know, right? Like, we don't already do enough. But what's going to end up happening in the future is Fridays are going to become the new day for the Corsair Cup. So from, we'll say, 3 a.m. till 7 or 8 a.m. Pacific will be Maynard and Zeph casting here for the VSL. And then at 10 a.m., so like 3 or 4 hours later, ZvP and I will be live with the Corsair Cup in the morning. So you get a double dose of BaseTradeTV. It lets us help Maynard and Zeph, I guess, have like a bigger platform to cast on, but also so people are aware we will be paying them too. So it's not just like totally charity or anything like that. And I'm really excited that we can work together in this way because, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Zeph. I love her to death. I think she's the best. But Maynard, I haven't got to work with a lot. But he's been helping cover things here with the Alima Leagues and things where I haven't been here. So he's been casting a lot with Zombie Grub, which has been cool. And having them both on the channel, I think is going to be a lot of fun for you guys.
Yep.
But just so you're all aware, the awkward silence, it's not choice. This is, they don't transmit the audio from these guys talking.
They just hate their voices.
So this girl, by the way, she's beautiful. Let's full screen this for a second. This is where if I was a real sweetheart, I would use your camera full screen, right? Of course, as we do this, she disappears. So never mind. I was just gonna ask though, what do you think of the white blazer style of jacket? Like what she's
I really
got
get to be skinny to pull off the white blazer.
Well, in fairness, like she's one of those people that looks like she could probably just wear anything and pull it off, right? But
yeah, exactly.
I'm not a fan of the white, to be honest.
I'm imagining other people I've seen wear white blazers, and I think sometimes it looks kick-ass. Like I think like Anna in a Crosshairs won a white blazer before in like a big event, and it really looked cool. But yeah, sometimes it actually looks even more like I don't know what the word is, man. Like it's like the black blazer would have been sleeker and cooler, and the white blazer is kind of just like I'm a professional. Hoy.
Chat's like, that's classic. He's a dude. You know that record? I know, guys. The scene changed on me, okay? I don't have control over it. Feels bad, man.
His promo picture looked really different than his real face.
Well, it was literally black versus white, too, with the thing. But the Solar got that Splice jersey rocking it. Although, I will say, they're making these guys do these weird hand gestures that feel so unnatural and not like normal.
Like, I know what they're supposed to be doing, like what the gesture's supposed to be, but it does look really weird when he hit it like that.
If it was me, I would just do like a fist bump, I think.
That's gonna look even weirder, so I think I like. There's no way to make the fist bump look cool.
Wait, what'd you say? Fist bump or fist pump?
Fist bump.
No, I was going pump. Like yeah, just one, yeah.
Okay, I think I don't think there's any way to like make. It's very hard. Okay, the more you think about it, the more I think you just have to realize that real sports, like real production, just I don't know what they do, but they make things look cool. Esports production almost never cool.
I'm trying to remember if it was Bill Burr or who. There's like a comedian out there that's talking about the fist pump, and it's like, or no, I think it was Louis C.K. even. He's like, you know why people fist pump, right? It's because there's no one around to high five. It's just why you see tennis players fist pump all the time. StarCraft's a 1v1 sport, kind of like tennis most of the time.
Yeah. I get an X5 pig for 11 month resub.
Never heard of that guy before.
Well, he's doing this for 11 months. Maybe you should.
Are you sure you didn't like stutter and it's just like maybe you saw it wrong? It's just 1 month, twice? Thanks for the new sub, Pig. Thanks for the new sub, X5 Pig, whoever you are. Appreciate it. I should have his cast with Pig. He was fun to cast with too in your absence. But anyways, yeah, as you can see here, bottom right, it's classic. Woo!
In the bottom left is the blue Zerg. He is spliced solar.
So that's actually, this is something I've noticed them doing.
Solar.
He's like picking his lip or something. I just want to note really quick. I really enjoy, because GSL's been doing this too. They've been kind of providing them like pseudo blazers, and then here, of course, you get the hoodies for the VSL. I love that they're just kind of like, your street clothes are disgusting. Please wear this instead.
Yeah, they've done that since, yeah, for a very long time. I don't think they did that in Brood War, actually. Well, no one made any good tournament results if they weren't on a team in Brood War, so I don't know about that. But even the first season of GSL, I think they had like a GSL jackets, hoodies. They were like, here, cover yourself up. Shame.
Hide your shame, yeah.
Well, Slover's Classic Best of 3. Yeah, we don't know what type of Classic is going to appear today in this matchup, but we do know that Solar hasn't been looking really that strong lately, which I always feel so awkward saying, because I know like sometimes his individual results will be different than, or it's offline rather, I should say. Offline results will be different than his online results. But no, I think lately it's just overall been like a downward trend for Solar. IOS.
Who won the last best of 3? Bunny, very one-sidedly. Leoman. Oh, that's probably for bets.
Yeah.
It occurred to me as I was saying it. I mean, there's also something here I want to clear up too with Solar. You know, there was of course recently some controversy between us and him on the channel, but we talked, like him and I talked out a pretty big lengthy discussion. We got things sorted for the most part. There's no ill will to Solar, and I know that he didn't like BM us to be like a dick. He was just unfortunately awkward about handling the situation. So like in just to really put other guys like in this cast, I want to make it perfectly clear, nothing against Solar. I still love this kid. I still think he's like one of the nicest Zergs out there, and respect his playstyle, etc.
Yeah, that's not why I'm bringing up his his form.
No, and I'm just providing context here so people are aware. This isn't like, you know, passive aggressiveness or anything coming out.
Yeah. Anyways, it just is Solar is not having the best results. His macro will look good, and then it'll be attacked, and like, oh, it wasn't as good as the other guys. Oh, okay, I guess that's how that went. So that might happen here. Solar is forced to take a third base, unfortunately, towards his opponent, which is usually not preferred, especially. I think maybe like in the first couple of months of Legacy of the Void, Zerg was the more aggressive race.
Go on.
Aggressive race. And I remember like on Ruins of Saras, it actually wasn't that bad to expand towards your opponent because you had to do Ravager all-ins anyways. But now Zerg has gone back to reactive and defensive. So this is usually not the ideal, but it's what Solar went for.
Yeah. This Adept getting a couple of drone kills, actually really nice for him. Can you get alive? Nah. Wishful thinking. Yeah, for those just joining us in the cast, by the way, this is the second best of 3 of the day. There's going to be 5 of these in total. Yesterday's group was pretty fun. Got to see our boy Biel do really, really well.
And Hero, who I consider, at this point, Hero is probably my favorite Protoss, with Classic close runner-up whenever he does play in our tournaments. Otherwise, I don't see him.
You know what? I'm certainly with you on this one, and a lot of it is because, okay, he can be kind of entertaining, but he's actually just getting results where a lot of other Protoss aren't.
Wow. And, I mean, his personality has never been the issue. For me, it's always been his playstyle wasn't nearly as fun as I guess other people thought it was back in the day, where everyone was like kind of in love with the smiling assassin. I was like, yeah, he's cool, but I mean, am I going to cheer for him all the time? No. Now it's like really, I would probably cheer for him over most other players, even a couple of Terrans. I know.
I have
racial violence.
I'll be right back 1 second.
Okay, well, make sure you put your camera on mine. It's a joke because there's no camera for us. There's going to be a drop incoming here. We do have 3 more gateways, which is it a total of 4 gateways or 5 gateways? You know, it doesn't matter because he's going to add on more than just 3. And I look on the minimap, they're like behind the mineral line. That's trying to be hidden. So there's going to be a real attack here. Bothering to warp in. A lot, like I would say sometimes you see this drop and you're like, there's not really going to be a commitment, is there? And no, this is starting to commit. More units that he can pick up in the War Prism. Definitely want to save that Immortal. But the Lings come in here, kind of getting chewed up by the Zealots, so while they do end up cleaning things up, still, trade. And Overlord, I want to say got into the main base. I thought I saw one move in there, but you're not gonna get any confirmation on that. But that is a lot of gateways. Now, Classic can still expand off of this, but this is not a build that is streamlined for macro. And there should be an attack, and it should do damage for him to really get away with the third base after all is said and done. Now, does Solar recognize this? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was misseeing things. I don't think he actually did scout all the gateways behind the mineral line because he is still droning and getting a lair. He gets a handful of Lings and Ravagers, and if he stops droning right now, then he might just be fine. Okay, his Overlord now sees the attack incoming. So he's at 52 workers, which might be a little bit too high. We're going to see. He's getting emergency spine crawlers, but what's really unfortunate about this third positioning is that, if it was the other third positioning, he has an extra maybe 20 seconds, something like that, to buy time. It's just right up against his base here. And the force fields, there's still a couple left over. There's 3 Immortals now. 4th one's on the way, and of course a Warp Prism to help micro everything. I think Solar is just screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I sat down to what looks like death and destruction. I'm wondering if it's going to ever come down to whether pushes like this. Sorry, I didn't get to see how it started. But back in the day, you had people putting down like stupid amounts of spine crawlers out of desperation for defense and not necessarily relying on Roach Ravager. I wonder if it... Well, it certainly pushes back, but I mean, the supply type here is still pretty big for Classic. Anyways, my thought process was just leading, like, if Solar had, like, 5 extra spines, like, would he have defended this?
Hard to say, because the spine crawlers weren't in front of the hatchery. Like, Classic could have just kept his sentries alive, which is why I said it was getting messy. He's, like, losing some to the left and to the right, and could have just probably taken out the 4th base anyway. We were on the front lines, maybe. I don't know. I think, more importantly, it's just...
Time Warp is effective.
Well, kind of. Oh my god, fear the drones. But this is usually the sign of just no return. Solar does not have a 4th base that he can back off into. He wasn't that greedy before, this hit. And, there's no what-if scenario for the macro, I don't think. Militia Core does go down, but it's not that important. Been used up. Hatchery goes down. Doesn't want the Broodlings to help out, because maybe that would tip the scales a little bit. There they go. And that is just Ravagers left over with a couple of Queens.
Well, Classic killing the base was more than enough damage already, and getting more of the army here even losing a couple units to that force field. I think for Solar, this is getting to the point of no return. It's not quite there yet. I mean, all he has to do is like take one amazing army fight. Classic's not looking for a second, Crozabow's land, and like Solar can counter. But this is not looking like Classic's going to make that mistake. Roach Ward is down here as well, so Solar's only going to be able to make Lings going forward. This game is probably over.
Yeah. I really think Solar didn't expect this. If he did, then joining up the 52 was probably just a straight-up mistake.
So I heard you say that on my headset as I was cleaning up, and my thoughts were, we've seen players actually do this thing where you anticipate losses so you overcompensate beforehand, but I feel like it was so early in the game that couldn't have been the case. Like, he wouldn't have possibly had enough army. Yeah.
And again, especially with the third positioning being as it was, because if you're, especially like not just the literal distance between thirds that you could choose as a Zerg player, there's also the idea of the ramp and the choke that you can use your Corsair Biles on to buy time. That Classic got to go up to. So that was just, I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if Classic thought it would be a normal macro game and then saw the third positioning and was like, actually, forget that, let's just all in. But it also could have just been his idea to come out first game with a blast.
Well, it's an excellent start for sure for Classic. I was so we don't have any clean towels. So I ended up having to use a shirt to mop up the water I spilled on the desk. And then doing so, it's just like, it just happens to be laundry day for me. So I feel so incredibly lame. So they're mopping up like water that I spilled with shirt. But let's go to a player or the caster cameras for a second, because Zombie-Up's having a stare down with Apollo. Oh, he's so cute. I like that slow, just kind of like, I'm coming over.
He's unusually shy about getting my love.
Well, back to the player cams though. Solar looking not super thrilled after that first game.
Not super thrilled. I think losing all-ins is always hard, but
frustrating too, right? Like it's just like that next step.
Yeah.
I don't know if we caught this. Vandal subbing brand new? Vandal 7?
Oh, I did not. Saw it, but the action picked up.
Vandal Savage. Vandal 7. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Dude, we do appreciate it. But just taking a couple of extra seconds to get into the game, I suppose. There we go. Woo! All right, bottom right, we got the Red Protoss Classic.
In the bottom left is the blue Zerg. He is solar.
You know, I didn't get much sleep before this, so in anticipation about one of those 5-hour energy drinks, but I'm feeling pretty spry right now. Holding off and taking it.
Okay.
See if that lasts.
Come back to you in 2 hours.
Yeah, right. See how that is. Oh, that's a wonderful donation. Thank you so much for the $13.75 coming from .ktml. Says sending you, or thank you for sending my Partouf all the way to Australia. Please accept this reimbursement for postage fee. I'll tell you what, man, we do appreciate the sentiment, but we'll be putting that money towards the tournament fundraiser for the mega tournament we're raising in the background. So thank you very much for your contribution. It is going to go a long way to making cool stuff happen. But so yeah, rough first game for Solar. We can call it a warm-up game, call it first game of the day, doesn't count, whatever. I mean, it did technically, he's down 1-0, but but I hope he can shake it off, because Solar, you mentioned before, his offline performance is much different than his online performance, and was quite the online grinder. He's actually had some pretty good offline play, at least historically speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll perform well in the GSL, so when I watch him play online and he just loses like the round of 32, I'm just kind of like, oh, I guess he just kind of sucks online. I don't know what to say about that. I don't want to be like he's on the way down, because a month ago I would think Solar was still kind of in people's minds this really great Zerg, but honestly, from what I've seen, it's not that great anymore.
No, Solar certainly. Well, I don't know. I actually, for me, it's not even GSL. I think it was that one IEM run he had that was just so fantastic, right? But I was just gonna mention Dom in chat saying 90%. Actually, 90% of the donation money goes towards soap and clean towels for Rifkin. Yeah, that's why I don't have any clean towels, guys. I actually don't even wash them. I just buy new ones as soon as I'm done with the old ones.
That was such a waste. And I'm sure people do it.
Well, actually, they do, except it's paper towels.
Yeah, I hate using paper towels. Like, I realize that there is a really good purpose sometimes for paper towels, but I always feel like I'm just ruining the world with each paper towel I throw away. Rip, there goes a dolphin in the ocean.
So
rip, there goes something else in the rainforest. I don't know.
Okay, well, Zombie Grub's killing the environment. Quick question for chat. I thought I had adjusted this, but I'm actually getting some tweets about it. Are the in-game sounds still too low for you guys? In context here, keeping in mind we actually can't adjust the music to the sound ratio, just the overall sound of the StarCraft client or whatever's coming through the feed. I think it sounds fine on my end, but a couple of tweets has made me say, let's let the audience decide and we can adjust. Hashtag towel guilt. Get the towel dry and use it again. No, Nervoth, that's what poor people do. I've got subscriber money, so I just throw them out. Sometimes I burn them for fun. So we're saying sound is good. Alright, we'll just leave it as is then. I won't fiddle. Apologies to the few folks who have tweeted then saying that sounds off.
Yeah, you guys just wrong.
Okay. I don't have follow-up to that.
The Overlord gets in here. Again, I'm still not sure what scouting went down last game. If maybe Classic had killed the Overlord that I thought I saw go in there, or there just wasn't one at all, and maybe Solar just didn't bother going that far. But he definitely goes all the way into the Natural this time and sees the Oracle, which usually leads into a macro game. So that much he can usually be okay about. But usually there is an Adept attack along with the Oracle, so he will need some Banelings if he really wants to deal with this perfectly. Already losing 7 drones though, because the Spore Crawler was slightly mistimed. Kind of sucks.
Oh, I see what people are talking about now. So yeah, For those who don't know, we're not actually in the StarCraft client. We're given a feed directly by VSL to use, so the in-game sound being fine, or you guys are saying the music is fine, but the sound effects are too low, like the attacks, we can't actually adjust that for you, unfortunately. Normally we could, but we're not in-game today. Anyways, the attack commences, a lot of adepts blitz down to Queen, almost just like tackle straight into her. The Bailey pops off.
This is such a mistake.
I think
this is like a lot more harsh.
Well, did you see Solar's his facial expression as soon as that Bailey didn't do anything? He's just kind of like, oh, okay. I guess this might be problems.
Besides the Baneling not doing anything, I'm really surprised there's not a Sport Crawler. That seems like a big mistake because I mean, I was talking about the follow-up Adept attack. Now, it's not guaranteed that there's a second Oracle follow-up. That does kind of like twist a regular attack into a bit of more of a committed attack, but a lot of the times there is. So I'm really surprised he kind of played dangerous like that and let 2 Oracles just get away. Actually, they even live. So
yeah. Also, just confirming, Dolphinfish SC2 in chat saying, "Is this a rerun?" I swear I saw this exact thing. Well, we have been running some reruns recently, so I bring this up not to actually be snarky, but if you are ever watching BaseTradeTV, we don't run reruns often, but if we do, there will actually be a giant bar up here in the top middle that will say, this is a rebroadcast. So worry not, friend. We have a clean overlay for now, and then maybe I'll rebroadcast this later, and this will be a confusing conversation, but if you see the bar at the top, this is rebroadcast, it's a rebroadcast. If you don't, then it's brand new and it's live.
Yeah. Yep. So we do have a lot of gateways coming down, Resident Enclaves, and again in a Sentry Immortal, but Sentry Immortal Adept.
I like this War Prism.
Yeah, he's harassing, he's still producing probes, but there could be a follow-up kind of poke. Since the force fields can save his army, he can just try and take on that third base. And the third base in that location is kind of a force feedable, very good force field place.
That was
Adepts
good Banelings.
Yeah, but like all the Banelings are 3 Adepts.
It's one of those things where Solar's already taken enough damage this game that I think cost inefficient trades like that are worth it to minimize future damage. Like, okay, maybe he didn't need all the Banelings. He could have actually used just Lynx and Queen, but the process would have lost like 5 or 7 more drones. Like, not going to be worth it in that case. I like the Baneling use. Problem is, though, that army supply was already hurt in the first place, and now he's down by he's got less than half the army supply of Classic, and Classic is on the front doors.
And, well, Classic does stop producing probes now.
How many sentries is that?
He still has the third base to fall back to that still has a decent number of probes. Yeah, it's a lot of force fields. I mean, it really... it makes sense, the more that people were going lane Baneling, the more that sentries would come back into play here, and it's just... Class Solar is not getting any better luck with Banelings than it did with Ravagers, and it's somewhat a composition, but also just his numbers. Not a great series for Solar.
Queen's get absolutely slaughtered. These Oracles still in the sky, and that's going to be a 2-0 here for Classic. GG's and good job, Classic. Picture in picture.
Double screen in there.
Really important to show just how much he won that game, because he really did. Like, again, I said this earlier so that we could hopefully talk about him a little more freely. I have only love in my heart for a player like Solar. I think he's a good guy, but he just got wrecked, and I feel like both games, I want to say even a little bit his faults. It felt like he really didn't prepare for any attacks. Not that he didn't prepare for that specific attack, but he just wasn't ready for any attacks.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. And it's also kind of like, okay, you can, maybe say, well, he doesn't know a lot about Classic. Maybe Classic always plays macro, and this is a big difference, except that we did go over that Classic's been a little cheesy. At the very least, PVT, but I'm pretty sure he's also been doing all-ins and PVZ as well. So it's not, like, out of the ordinary. I just, Solar was thinking about something else, it looked like, because he usually, even with his downward trend lately, he usually does play better than that. That was a little odd.
Well, Bunny is going to now be going up against Classic in the final, or the winners match, and I believe that's scheduled to be next. This is going to be interesting, especially though because we talked about Classic playing cheesy, and I would say like 99% of the time that's actually versus Terran. That's not necessarily always versus Zerg. So Bunny's got his work cut out for him, I guess you could say. You know what we need to do, though? If this is going to be a common thing, we really need to just, like, do our own voice overlays for these guys. Kind of like the bad dubbing that you would see on, like, American shows and stuff.
If they're gonna do interviews,
Like-
I was gonna suggest that we do bad dubbing, but they never did interviews.
I always think to like Iron Chef actually for me is just like Koi-san, Yasota. Looks like the Zerg player has chosen not to include this in his dish. Like
Iron Chef was so good.
Iron Chef was
Iron
great.
Chef sucked.
Iron Chef Morimoto.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, we're gonna go to commercial break. I'm not sure if they're gonna do the 10-minute break here. Looks like they might. Hang on. Yeah. So let's turn that music down a little bit. They're doing a 10-minute break, but here's the enticing part of the break. This is where Rifkin's got you covered. Okay, I bought this lottery ticket. I've been showing it off all stream. We're gonna go to 2 minutes of ads, and when we get back, I'm gonna start scratching these and see if we can save esports one lottery ticket at a time. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys soon.